Hello everyone, my name is Rollins and thank you so much for watching my channel. A channel talks about investing in the stock market and also talks about financial independence. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing such that you don't miss other videos like this. In the last week, I made a video about the new MTN IPO in Uganda, and I promised to make another video that talks about the financials and also the annual reports before I decide whether I will be investing in the company or not. Luckily enough, after like 1 day or 2 days, the prospectus that is including the financials and also the annual reports was released, and I had a chance to read through, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you. So let's start. Before I go into details, I want to first caution you that I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Therefore, if you're going to invest in IPO or any other business, please seek advice from a financial advisor for better understanding. So let's go. Actually, before I go into the annual reports or the financials, I've been getting continued questions which I should first clear. So I called it IPO quick facts, because I've been getting questions like how many shares are they listing, what is the percentage they are listing, like how much is the share, how many shares can I first buy, like such kind of questions. So I just compiled them so that if you among the people who is questioning or has such questions, we can first answer it before we go to prospectus. So let's just dive in. First of all, MTN, the total shareholding is 22 billion shares, and the company has only listed approximately 4.5 billion shares, which is amounting to 20% of its shareholding. So basically, before MTN Group was holding 96, and another Ugandan who's called the Mbire was holding 3.8. So, but now MTN will be reducing it to 76%. So a share is going to be costing 200 Ugandan shillings per share, and the minimum shares that you can buy, it's 500. So if you multiply 200 shares times 500, it will be giving you 100,000 shares. 100,000 shillings to purchase 500. So the minimum you can purchase on this IPO is 500 shares, and of course the maximum is limited to amount that you can afford. So basically, this is another very, very important thing to note. If you're going to buy MTN shares, there are two ways you can buy. One, you can use MTN mobile money by pressing *165 *65. This only can be done by using MTN line. So if you press 165, it will take you to select a broker. So you have to select a broker. They have different brokers, Dan Brea. There is also Crested Stocks. There are very many. Standard Investment Bank. Standard Group, which is owned by Stanbic Bank. So there are like seven brokers, if I'm correct. So you will select the preferred broker. Then the next one, it will ask you to put in your national identification number. Then it will give you the brokerage number. At a later stage, of course, your broker will contact you to give you more details. But it's very, very important, because if you buy through the broker, they will only give you 5 bonus shares. But if you buy through this MTN mobile money, you pay using mobile money, it will be 10 bonus shares per 100. So if you, for example, if you buy those 500 shares, the minimum, you'll be getting 50 bonus shares. That is almost, you'll be gaining 10% from the beginning. So that's how very important it is. So don't forget to buy the shares using this now *165 *65 hash. Actually, I've been getting very, very many questions about this, so I hope this is very clear. So basically this is it. Maybe other few things to note. There is some ratios that I check when I'm trying to buy a company. One of them is price to earnings ratio. Basically, price to earnings ratio is comparing price to the company's earnings to see how long it will take you to, you can say, to recoup your money that you paid for the investment. So basically, another thing that PE helps is to compare companies in the same category. But at the moment, we don't have any company, so we shall only use it for one purpose, to check whether it is good. Actually, say most of the time, below 10 is very good, and even below 20 is good. But you can see MTN is 14. It's not, you can say it's average. It's not that good, because most of the telecommunication companies, they are always having higher PE ratio because of they have less assets, but they have more earnings. So most of the time, many people pay for earnings, not for the assets. That's why most of the price to earnings ratio is always very high. So if you see, another thing that is very important is book value or net asset value per share. What is book value? So in simple terms, you can say that is its intrinsic value. So you compare the shareholding, I mean the equity, to the price. For example, we have seen when I calculated, of course, when you're calculating, you calculate the company equity divided by the shareholding. So the equity, it was around 743 billion. So I divided it by, of course, the shareholding, which is 22.3 billion. So I had to get 33. So it means if at 200, the company is 6 times more expensive than its book value. So why would you buy a company that is 6 times expensive than its book value? That's what we are going also to discover. So another thing that is very important, it's average payout ratio. So this is like if they're paying dividends, if they're paying back to their shareholders, they only pay 55% of the earnings, but this time it is going to increase up to 60. Why is this very important? It is very important because if you pay a lot of money, you may lack capital to reinvest in the business, which can actually hinder the growth. But the 55-60% is not that bad. 40% can remain in the company for innovation, development, a lot of things that it can do. So it's not bad actually. 55 is very good compared to most of the telecom companies. That's good. So this is the shareholding that will be after the IPO is done, which will be on 22nd November. So 22nd November, you should be able to complete your business, because that's when the last IPO shares will be sold. So you can see MTN International, it will be owning 17 billion shares, amounting to 76%. And Charles Mbide, who is a Ugandan, will be owning 3.9, which is approximately 4%. And the rest of the shareholders, including me and you, if you're going to be buying, to be 20%. Basically, that's what the brief introduction about this. So let's go into the financials to check exactly how it is faring in terms of growth and also the assets. So basically, this is the summary statement of comprehensive income. So you can see revenue. Basically, on other balance sheets, you find saying sales. So you can see from 2016, 13 trillion, 1.4 trillion, 1.5 trillion, 1.7 trillion, 1.8 trillion. You can see it's on a very positive trend, which is a very, very good thing. And also to a company that you would love to own, you would want to see this kind of numbers. If you go to gross profit, I don't consider much gross profit, but you can see the gross profit was also 88 billion, 1.8 1.02 trillion, 1.1, 1.3, 1.5 trillion. This is in Ugandan shillings, of course. You can see it has been on very good growth. So EBITDA, it means earnings before interest, debts, taxes, and also the amortization. Basically, this is also it's also good. What I'm always interested in, of course, is in the revenue, sales, and also the profit after tax. But also, if you see profit before tax, you can see that it is very good, from 138 billion, 227, 300, 379, and 460 billion. You can see this is a very, very good. It's a very, very positive trend. If you see profit after tax, 96 billion, 153 billion, 220, 269, and 322 billion Ugandan shillings. So you can see, actually, I calculated profit after tax. It was the growth, on average growth of profit after tax, it was 20%. So it means if it continue growing like this, in 5 years, you'd have actually doubled your income, or the earnings will have doubled, which is a great company you would love to own. So if you see earnings and also earnings per share and profit tax, if you calculate them, they always go hand in hand. So it's 20% growth in terms of increase. So basically, you can see the summary is very good. If you go to balance sheet, it's also not different from the income. You can see the current assets is also good to check. Current assets from 691 billions, 595, 72, 720, 738, 887. The reason why I'm not reading this, because you can see it is only 6 months, and this is the annual one. That's why I'm not reading. But this is half results, which is so good. So you can see the current assets are increasing. Non-current assets are also on the uptrend. Current liabilities, these are total assets. They're also up. You can see current liabilities, if you see them, 917, 891, 977, 985. You can see this one is, you can see it's constant, but slowly going up. But if you see the current liabilities are more than current assets, this is not a good sign, because it means if these are short term, most of the times these are short term debts. So if you see a company having such a kind of balance sheet, this is not a good sign, because, for example, if a company has a small issue, it cannot be able to solve it in short term. So this is not a very good sign. However, because the company makes a lot of money, it can be able to recover, but this is not a very good sign. You can see the difference almost around 300 billion, which is not that good, but still, because it makes a lot of money, is a good, but still this is not very good when it comes to the balance sheet. But you can see the equity. Let's go to equity: 298, 349, 442, 560, 727, and 747. You can see the equity has been actually exponentially increasing. In 5 years, 1, 2, 3, 5 years, it has doubled. This is a very, very good thing that you would want a person to own. So basically, this is a brief. So in this one, we are just going to check exactly what are these balance sheet saying, all the details. So you can see revenue from contracts with the customers. So you can read through. I'm not going to go much into details, because as we have limited time, but you can see all the figures are increasing every year, which is a very, very good thing you would want to see. Basically, I will just attach the full IPO prospectus for you to check, as we do not have much time. If you can see also the operating profits, they have been going up. In these details, there is something I want to show you. If you see the profits, also they have been going up. If you have time, please, you can check through these figures because the figures are good. The one thing that is concerning is about the assets. If you see on the assets, one of the things that is interesting is to watch is about the intangible assets. The intangible assets, if you go to plain English, intangible is something that cannot be touched or seen. So it means about networks, the brand name, the employees, the royalties. There are some things that are not intangible. There's no doubt MTN is a very, very great brand. But if you see in 2020, it doubled. So there's something fishy about this. You need to go into details, and like on chapter 19 of this assets, you need to check what exactly are the intangibles, because they make almost a third of the total assets. So it means if, like, for example, if the company fails, for example, unfortunately, and it's to be liquidated, this one actually you may not even get any single coin out of this 500 billion Ugandan shillings. That's a funny part of it. I don't like intangible assets in any company, especially if it is a lot. Yes, of course, MTN has a big brand, but this intangible assets is a very, very, very big thing to be concerned about. If you're reading, you just need to go to check on 19 and what the intangible assets are meant to be. So basically, that's what is concerning. I also talked about the current assets, where the total current assets are less than the current liabilities, which is not also a good sign. As I said, if the company is in a short squeeze of the amount, the company cannot be able to cover. But because MTN is a big company, it makes a lot of profits, makes a lot of money on an everyday basis, it can be able to cover. However, this is not a good sign. So I can say the balance sheet, on this balance sheet side, it is not looking good. But on the financial position side, it is looking good. So you can say the balance sheet, the financials, they are not excellent, they are not very good, but you can say they are very good. But when it comes to the financial position, I can say is very, very excellent. If you can say the sales growth, the profit growth is very, very good. So this is from here. I'm going to be drawing my conclusion, what are my takes, and everything about it. So we have checked everything about the financials, about the balance sheet. So it's up to you, it's up to me to decide whether I'm going to be buying it. So personally, I'm going to be buying part of it, because first of all, I have 10% from the set. As I said, if you buy the MTN IPO using MTN mobile money, you will get 10%. So you already have 10% from the beginning. Second is, if you live in Uganda, MTN is one of the biggest, if it is not the biggest brand in Uganda. And when it comes to mobile money, when it comes to internet, when it comes to calls, is leading. So these are the things you would want to own in a business. Third thing, MTN is going nowhere, and the Ugandan population is still growing. Uganda is still a growing company, a growing country. And I believe with its younger population and also the growth, MTN is going to be part of this growth. Personally, I want to be part of the growth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy part of it. So when the IPO is over, I'm sure the IPO is going to go down. Of course, you cannot say 100%, but most of the IPOs, they normally go down after the IPO is over. So that's how I'm going to approach. So how would you approach the theme? There are some basic concepts in investing that you should know. First of all, you should never invest all your money, because there is a statement that says if your investments or if your lifestyle depends on your investments, then you will make irrational decisions. Because, for example, if you have a small issue and you want to buy, you want to sell your shares, when your shares are down, automatically you will make a loss. So that is one thing. You should never invest all your money in one investment, because you may get a squeeze in finances and you're not able to do anything. Instead, you sell your shares at a loss. So this is the basic thing you should know. Second is, you should do your own research. You should be convinced that what you're investing in is the best, so that you don't regret anymore. Another thing is, investing is a long-term game. So if you think you're going to buy MTN and tomorrow or after 1 month you're going to make a profits, I could advise you that please don't waste your time, because you may get lost, you may be disappointed. Please, investing in shares, investing in the stock market is a long term. I like to quote one of the greatest investors of our time is Warren Buffett, when he quotes that what is his holding period. He normally says his preferred long period is forever. So if you want to invest in MTN IPO for 1 month and sell for 2 months, I think this is not a place for you. You should look for something else to buy and sell it in short time, because, for example, a share price can even take a year when actually it's down, and another year it goes up. So that's basically what I am able to say. Once again, as I said, I'm not a financial advisor. Please, you have to check with your financial advisor or someone who is experienced, or someone who is licensed, so that he can give you a preferred, or he can give you the best advice on how to approach investing. Once again, don't forget to subscribe, as I'm going to be sharing more and more and more information about this IPO, because this IPO is a game changer on Uganda Securities Exchange. Once again, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.